You ever get tired of the same old meal year after year? Well, I think we've got there. So this year I've came up with a new recipe. We're gonna be having a pepper-crusted tri-tip for Thanksgiving. So stick around and I'll share that recipe with you. I am Chef Johnny. This is Texas style barbecue and cuisine, and I appreciate you stopping by. Hey folks, I do have a beautiful tri-tip roast that we're gonna cook up today. If you're not a griller and you wanna cook it in the oven, I've got instructions for doing that down below. So just click more. It's gonna be the same process, but we're gonna cook it in the oven instead of out on the grill. But right now, come in here and I'm gonna show you how to grill up this beautiful, beautiful tri-tip roast for a Thanksgiving dinner that you won't forget. I have a great big tri-tip roast here. Folks, I tell you what, normally I try to get one under 3 pounds. This one was 3.5 already trimmed, so it's a good sized tri-tip. But we're gonna cook it up like we always do. It's still gonna taste good, but I'm gonna show you exactly what I do. I've got some beef tallow. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna brush it onto this tri-tip. I'm gonna coat it all real good because this is gonna be my binder. I also have some crushed garlic cloves, ran those through a garlic press. They will help bind all of our seasonings onto this tri-tip also. But we're gonna paint this up real good, then we'll start getting our seasonings on it. I'm just gonna take this crushed garlic, start rubbing it on there. Don't want any big clumps of garlic, but we're gonna get it rubbed on there real well. Once that garlic is on there, we're gonna come back with some salt and some pepper. I normally do not trim the fat cap off mine. I like to leave a little fat on it, but they had big tri-tips that were already trimmed down real close, so didn't have that option today, but this one's still gonna cook up very nice. I have got a coarse sea salt here, and we're gonna get this coated real good and make sure we get the sides of it. This is a great big tri-tip roast, so don't be scared that you're gonna over season it. You're not going to. Give it a good amount of salt on there and it'll be just the right amount. And remember, it's the same procedures of getting this ready, even if you're gonna put it in the oven. And what I have here is a multi-grain pepper. I'm gonna crack it over it. I want a nice size crack in there, and it's always good to do a fresh black pepper when you're putting it onto your tri-tip roast. And I want quite a bit of black pepper on here. I like it fresh cracked, but if you wanted to, you could use your coffee grinder. That would be a whole lot faster than the way I'm doing it here. Or you could put it underneath a cast iron skillet and just press down and crack those up and do it that way. I have cracked pepper that way also. You can see I have a cast iron insert here. It's gonna go in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on a rack. That way my tri-tip will drip down onto this cast iron pan, and I can use the fond that's left to make my pan sauce. Scrunch it up when you put it on this rack. That's gonna help retain your moisture. Now, if you don't have a griddle like this, you could use a cast iron skillet. Just take that skillet and sit it right onto your grill, put a rack on top of it, and set your tri-tip right on top of it. I'm gonna get a thermometer in here and then get it covered up. And about halfway through this cook, guys, about 100 degrees, I'm gonna pick it up and turn it so the other side faces the fire. And let's take it to that first mark of 100 degrees. I got this tri-tip up to about 100 degrees, so I'm gonna turn it, put the other side toward the fire for a little while. Get that picked up, spun around. There we go. We're gonna go about another 25 degrees, then we'll see about searing it off. We're up to 125 degrees. We're gonna get this off of there, let it sit there for a second, get the thermometer out. I'm gonna let this fire get up good and hot so that we can sear it off, then we'll let it rest while we make our pan sauce. We have this fire stoked up pretty good, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this tri-tip, put it down on these grates. Hear that sear? I just like a nice mark. When I'm putting something out with smoke on it, a steak, a tri-tip roast, something like this, I like those sear marks. I think it just adds to it. Remember, you always eat with your eyes before you do your mouth. So we want it to look appealing. I think it's gonna look appealing with these marks on it. So we're gonna get some marks on there. Go about, maybe 90 seconds on each side. Let's flip this over real quick. Ooh, that's pretty. Check that temp real quick. There we go, we're still good. That does look pretty. Check it again. We're doing all right. Now remember, USDA tells us to take this to 145 degrees. So I'm gonna pull it a little bit before that. I like mine a little closer to medium rare than medium. And the nice thing about a tri-tip is this end's gonna be cooked a little bit more, that middle's gonna be a little more rare. Gonna work good for the family because we have people that like theirs cooked different ways. All right, we're gonna take that off, let it rest. Now we can make our pan sauce. And we're gonna make our pan sauce right here on top of the fire. Now, if you were in the house, just make it in there, right? Or if you have a side burner with your gas grill or your pellet grill, you can do that. Take some of my beef broth, get it on here, start heating it up, and get this fond off, right? All the drippings that were on here. And then we're also gonna get where it's, that tri-tip is releasing some juices onto the tray. We're gonna get that and get those back on there also. Again, if you did this, you could just use your cast iron skillet, right? I have this griddle which comes in handy. In the house, you could use a pan, you could use the roaster that you cooked it all in. Let's just kind of heat this broth up and work this all in together. And again, this is pulling our flavor, right? From our meat, the drippings that are on there, salt and pepper and garlic that fell off. And here we go, starting to get a little sizzle on this backside. If it gets too hot, just slide it to the cool side of your griddle. A little more of our beef stock. And I tell you what, I had a little of that tallow left over. I'm gonna drop that tallow in there. And just layering flavors, guys. If you wanted to get the chunks out of this and make a smoother sauce, all you'd have to do is run this through a sieve. That would work fine. And we just want to reduce this down. Had a cup and a half, we're gonna take it down to about 3/4 of a cup. I'm gonna take our drippings now that's been accumulating on our tray. Drop those back in there. Work that in. And you may notice I do have a rubber whisk so it doesn't mess up the finish on my cast iron. I never like to put metal into a cast iron if I can keep from it. Let's give this a taste real quick here. It should be nice and strong. We've reduced it down to about 3/4 of a cup. Oh yeah. Now we're gonna come back with about half cup of heavy cream. My recipe I have for y'all is a little bit less than that, but also remember, it's a smaller tri-tip on that recipe. So let's work our cream in there. Gradually work it over into the hot side. I do have some pepper and salt on hand in case I need to adjust it. I like the garlic content. It's not real strong, but you know it's there. And again, you want to get rid of the lumps. Pass this through a sieve or a strainer. Take that out and it'll give you a nice smooth sauce to have with your tri-tip. I think I'm going to get this off right now. If you've never cut up a tri-tip before, it can be a little tricky. It's got grains of meat going different directions, kind of like a brisket does. So you just have to be careful. This kind of big end down here, its fibers are going this way. These are going this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to cut it in half right there. All right. Now I have this end and this end that I can slice two different directions. I'm going to move this one back That looks pretty in there. And I'm left-handed. A lot of right-handed people will cut it like this, right? But I'm left-handed, so I got to do it backwards. We're going to come in here and slice this kind of thin. That's the way to go on a tri-tip. But it is looking very, very pretty. Guys, would you look at that? That is beautiful, beautiful. It's going to be tender. It's moist. Now let's look at this other end. See if I can turn this around where y'all can see it a little bit better. Waterfall these chunks out for you. I think that is a lovely tri-tip. I'm going to put this on the plate, show you how we'll serve it. We'll get that pan sauce on there and show you what our Thanksgiving plate's going to look like this year. So we broke out the fine china for this meal, but I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to lay me some strips of this beautiful tri-tip. This end here is medium rare. The other one's getting close to medium, so that's what my wife is going to like. And this nice big tri-tip that I have, you could probably feed 4 to 6 people on it depending on their appetites. But that's a very appealing plate right there. I did not make a ton of the pan sauce because it's not like we have mashed potatoes or something to go with this. This is just simply for the meat. So I'm just gonna take it and I'm just gonna pour it right there. I don't want to cover the whole meat. If it was a little thicker, we use some flour or something, we could have drizzled it right across the top. But we don't want to cover up this beautiful meat, so I kind of try to keep it on one side where you could still see the pink of the plate. But I think that's a lovely plate. We got a tri-tip roast, Hasselback potatoes, and our Brussels sprouts came out tremendous. Those recipes will all be down below. But I think this is a tremendous alternative to turkey for your Thanksgiving or your Christmas meal. Let's get a piece of this tri-tip and give it a try. Everybody always wants to know how it tastes, so we're going to find out. I'm going to dip it down in my pan sauce. Give that a try. Nice and tender. And an excellent flavor. I think this is hard to beat for an alternative to your turkey meal this year for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. Give you a little spin of the plate here. Let you see that Hasselback potato and our Brussels sprouts with the bacon. Recipes are all down below for those guys. This is a tremendous meal. Hope you enjoyed it. You can get the recipes again down below, or you can go to Beef Loving Texans. The recipes will be on their website also. But a beautiful Thanksgiving meal. Hope you appreciate it. If you did, give me that thumbs up. Hey, remember, share this around. Tell your friends and family about us, and we're going to see y'all down the road on Texas-style barbecue and cuisine. Have a great holidays, everybody.